Buongiorno. Hello, everybody.
Good morning. Actually, I should put this one in front.
Hey, he's got his coffee. I've got my green coffee in a can. I think they call it Monster. It's some kind of exotic blend. It's
have
got these
you
called.
have you noticed that Monster messing with the formula at all?
I don't think
Like in
so.
the time that you've drank Monster,
They better not touch it.
I feel like white Monsters have gone through a little bit of like a flavor evolution, or maybe it's just where they're being bottled, and I had them in different locations. Not
That
sure.
could be. But that's my least favorite monster, so I drink that the least, so I might not notice.
Oh, fair.
Real quick. Scooter, Ed, Groundfog, Marco, Shady, Blind Woo, Lungbone, Joe, Huero, Fed Harrison, Urban, we'll get to him. Kathleen, I hope you have an awesome day as well. Sharif, Robin, Blue, Blazeberry, door handle, Thumbs Duds. Okay, so today we're doing this live on a Tuesday because it's Veterans Day, Titanium Justin. And we had someone, you might have figured out by the title, they wanted to come up and talk about various things in regards to our armed forces.
Yes.
And I thought it was an excellent idea because I grew up in a military family and I always had a lot of questions, and he's going to talk about some of the things I've always wondered. So I was not in the military. I don't know if Sharif was.
No.
But our dude Urban is. He's down there waiting for us. I'm going to take my time, bring them up.
I do want to say, to everybody who served today is especially a day that we appreciate you guys. And
Drew.
really, people don't appreciate enough what people who sign up for service really, are committing to. They are genuinely committing to a thankless job where they are supposed to be on some level the world's police and to jump into some of the worst situations in the world. Anybody who's willing to sign up for something like that should be appreciated. I didn't do it. Maddie didn't do it. A lot of us in the chat and the community haven't done it. You got to respect anybody who's willing to put themselves into that position.
Yes.
And all of the people who signed up to serve for us, for you and me, they committed to that. So today is a day to honor them and appreciate them.
Oboe, Remy and Rose. So yes, I agree with that. My mom is my most favorite person, and she spent 20 years in the Navy, and she traveled the world, and she sacrificed a lot to do it. She didn't spend as much time with us boys as she wanted to. So I mean, it is a big sacrifice, and I appreciate it. But without further ado, I'm gonna take my time. So I'm just kidding. I'm gonna bring up Urban now. So Urban wanted to. He was begging us to do this live. So this live is for Urban to talk about us things. And also, real quick, we have this going on, but also StreamYard is letting me stream vertically. I mean, I'm doing this like you can see what I'm seeing, but right there is the vertical side. And so I'm hoping that this reaches more people because this is an important topic. And it's something that's kind of cool, but trolls might show up. We'll handle them. But anyway, I'll stop yakking. Urban?
It is a little confusing trying to make sure I'm in frame on both types of screen.
I think you can hide the vertical one, or like if I do it, does it hide it for you?
I don't know, but it helps, so that you can make sure that our faces are in there, and I'm not cut off like that.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
But all right, good to see everybody. Happy Veterans Day to all my fellow veterans. And Sharif said it very nicely. Appreciate everybody that made the dedicated move to sign up and be a part of something that's much bigger than the rest of us. Thank you. I guess we'll get started. I wanted to start off with talking about little things that, from a day-to-day basis, that me and so many other veterans, and even just military members envision. So full active duty, reservists, what have you. These are things that, as civilians, as normal people, y'all don't realize, and you probably won't even pick up on, even if you're looking for it. So, Maddie, you might have some idea since you're a military brat. I don't like that term. I've never liked that term, military brat. But
Wait, hang on. Sorry. Can you hear him now? I turned his mic up. Can you hear him now? I can hear him. Can you hear him, Sharif?
I can hear him, but I had to turn up the volume just a touch.
Can y'all hear him now? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
How about that? Is that better?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay. All right.
Matt, hello.
Thank you for fixing that.
Well, let's see. I'm waiting for a thumbs up real quick. I want to make sure we're good before we proceed. Real 210. He said better. All right.
Better? Good. Okay. So one thing that, again, you may or might not pick up on is our eating habits are very different from others. Most of the time you'll see us like shoveling food, just like, scarfing it down really quick. Another thing you'll notice is we kind of do the whole little hover over our plate and get real close. We're shoveling, but that's also, we're in a way protecting our meal, protecting our food, and making sure that we don't spill anything. Those have been in the field or in combat. I mean, that's kind of what we're told to do, just to make sure that we just, one, consume as quickly as possible because it's deemed as fuel, not food. So it doesn't necessarily always taste the greatest. And then we just got to hurry up and get over with because there's a job to be done. Feeding time is just insert and go. So, and then the other thing is we tend to overeat. And that's a problem that I tend to face on a daily basis, even today. Considering I only did just a little bit shy of 8 years. But yeah, I tend to have that problem of overeating because it was drilled into our brains that when you eat, you don't know necessarily when the next opportunity will be to get a meal again. And it would be something incredibly small. So it's like when you're given a decent amount of food, put it all in. It all goes in.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when the next time is going to be. You might go 48 hours between a meal when you're in field downrange. So that's kind of one thing that you might pick up on, but most people won't notice unless you're really, really looking for it. But that's something that we face, and it sucks because it affects my weight gain, and because I don't have the metabolism I did when I was 20, and that's a little brutal. And then it also makes it a little harder to enjoy, especially family meals, Thanksgiving meal, that kind of a thing. So it's a little something that we've got to battle internally. Another one is being on edge all the time in a way that, as far as being hyper vigilant of our surroundings and what's going on. Like my wife and I's 7th year anniversary was on Saturday, and so Sunday we spent the day together down in St. Augustine, Florida. And when we went to a restaurant, it bugged me to no end sitting in one of those booths that just have like really tall backs to them.
Yeah.
So closed in, and like I'm sitting on the edge of it and staring at the entrance and just constantly checking. I mean, and because of this live that we're doing today, because of this show, it made me think about it. But normally I don't think about it. That's just what I do. I've done that since I was in the military. Just always, when you go into a room, you check your exits. You are constantly profiling, not in a way, just to, trying to scan the room, seeing who could be a possible threat, who are your most likely targeted victims in a situation that could possibly happen. It's that hyper awareness, and there's no way of turning it off. Again, I was only in for a little less than 8 years, and I'm still like that. It just drains you. That's why I would say that many veterans don't like to go out very often. They don't be out in public because of how much that drains you, of constantly doing it and not having a way to turn that off. So that is something that kind of just raises our anxiety a little bit and just is tiring. And again, that makes it a little bit more difficult to enjoy spending that quality time with friends and family and trying to be present when you're constantly worrying about everything else.
Yeah.
So that is a challenge that we often deal with.
I can imagine, especially in if places like Blade Show, like that goes to 11 because the environment is so dynamic and so many different people constantly moving about,
Exactly. Thank you for bringing that up, because I don't know if you noticed it. I don't know if Stevie noticed it. But as much as I like stopping and hanging with you guys as a group, when I'm out there on the floor,
it's keep moving time.
Works best for me is not being in a group, just being by myself and just moving and constantly staying moving, going. That's how I can operate through an environment like that, the best that I know how.
Yeah.
Because
you're not the first person I've seen that with, know.
Yeah, because when I stop and I'm in the group, then my anxiety goes up, and then all of a sudden I'm doing that scanning and
And it's the only way you can operate with another person is if the other person can keep the same pace with you and be able to move the same way. Otherwise, it doesn't work. If you gotta hang back and always accommodate this person, it breaks that. It brings the anxiety back. One of my buddies served, and that I noticed that with him early on when we would go to not at events, but when we would go to really dense shopping areas, and stuff like that. He commented, he was like, "Oh wow, you're one of the only people who can keep in step with me when we're navigating through stuff." It's that's kind of important to me. It's da da da, and he gave me a similar explanation to what you were saying. And a lot of people don't realize that.
It kind of makes sense. Both my parents are in the military, and I grew up with them, and hearing this, they did all this stuff, and I guess I never attributed it to that, because my mom doesn't like being in crowds. Same with my dad, and they do the same thing. They're constantly moving, and all the stuff he said, just rewinding time in my head, that's what they were doing. Makes a lot of sense.
Most of the time we don't think about it. It's just second nature to us.
I got used to it because it's how I grew up. And all that stuff, some of that stuff I do, like eat quick, and I got the gain weight part down pat. But yeah, and then Crispy, he said, I always got yelled at for this. This is a military thing then.
Oh yeah.
I always got yelled at for this.
There's a handful of reasons, and one that was always drilled to us, especially in field and in combat, was, or with training for combat, was that you go everywhere with your rifle, right? Your rifle is on you at all times, even when you go to the bathroom. and especially when you're eating. So one of the reasons why no elbows on the table is because it adds an extra almost 2 full seconds to your readiness time to get to that rifle if something happens.
Okay.
That's one thing. The
Mhm.
bit is the fact that you're supposed to be just intaking, and if you physically elbows off the table, tucked in, you can do this in a much quicker, controlled manner. So that's the other part of it. I don't know if there were any other reasons, but those are the two that I remember.
Mhm.
It makes sense. Huh. Well, you're talking about little ticks and habits.
Yeah, I got two more.
Okay, sorry.
Two more quick. Another one, which civilians do notice, is we're insanely blunt. We are completely straightforward all the time, and with minimum to no filter, right? I'm a very open book person. I have no problem saying what I want to say and calling things how I see it. I am not afraid to let you know. Like the whole BS detector is on full blast with us, and we're really good at it. We can truly detect nonsense and blare it out and be like, no. A lot better than other people. So that makes us a little hard to deal with in a social environment, getting along with people, because we are just that way.
It's so funny, right? Because I've been talking about this
So,
over the
dude,
course of this weekend. Actually, is really funny because I actually prefer that way of communicating. And I feel that everybody, like, it's one of the reasons I get along with the military guys because there's no wasted time in communicating, right? Like, there's no BS. I'm not trying to, like, tell you something and worry about your feelings. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, this needs to get done. I need to do this. You need to do that. We need to execute and move forward. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I understand the frustration that a lot of other people may have with that. They're not used to the directness, but God, is it nice?
Yeah, I would say so more now with all the nonsense that's out there and the political correctness and the
Yeah.
formalities of like being over the top sweet to people. And it's just like, let's talk about what we need to talk about and move on.
Dude, yeah. Imagine being out in the West Coast with all of that.
Yeah,
It's
no, thank you.
10 out of 10 final boss status of that stuff.
Oh man, and that kind of leads into our dark humor as well. Not everybody can understand or appreciate that, and that entirely feeds off of the fact that a lot of us have seen things and done things that normal people will thankfully never have to do, and particularly more with death and trauma, and that kind of hardens us in a way to where um, like crying at funerals, most of us don't do. I like literally after I got back from my deployment, I spent the next 18 months going to 11 funerals, and
sorry.
yeah, and that shapes you into something else. And so the way we deal with humor in stressful situations, there's a lot of sarcasm and it's a little dark.
Hmm.
And I know that's not for everybody, but there's that's just from our life experiences. That's how we cope with those things.
Hmm. You have to, because otherwise, like, I don't think people appreciate I don't think people understand the full range of the difficultness of some of the things that people like. military is up here in what they're exposed to, right? I don't even think people have the capacity to understand what like law enforcement even sees on a day-to-day basis,
Oh,
and they're
yeah.
not even dealing with combat, right?
Yeah.
So they can't stretch their mind to like completely fathom what you see in service, you know? And so making like having the capacity to understand that the only way through that is to make dark jokes and to try and make light of the things, you know. I don't know that they'll fully ever understand that, you know what I mean?
I like to think that I do a pretty decent job of toning my,
Mm.
yeah, but it's a lot of holding my tongue. It definitely is.
Yeah,
And
see.
Scott, and make the point, and I was going to add, law enforcement for sure gets some of that in their own way, but then also medical services, emergency medical, and
Yeah,
even,
the first responders.
yeah,
Yeah.
and firefighters, they deal with that even more so than I ever did.
Mm.
I mean, that's an insane amount of trauma and crazy different trauma scenarios too. So yeah, I totally understand that, Scott, and absolutely respect what those people have to go through as well. I mean, that's a lot. They're every day, multiple times a day.
I never really thought about that. I've always thought about like the forward people, you know, like military and law enforcement. But you're right. Yeah, first responders have to deal with some really gruesome stuff. So,
Yep.
yeah.
If anything, in some ways, it's almost worse for them because, like with military, I mean, with our traumas, with our combat, flying bullets past us, we're all in that together,
Hmm.
and and it's just us. With first responders, they have to deal not only with the traumatic event that's going on, but all the family members and friends and people crying and screaming behind it
Hmm.
as well. If
Yeah.
rush and interfere. So I mean, they've got that factor being at a different level. So yeah, lots of respect to first responders, very much so. And with Scott mentioning that PTSD, that's kind of the next thing I was going to go toward.
Yep.
Uh, I was I was I was supposed to be in combat zone for 9.5 months. That was my tour for 9.5 months. I was in a mixed unit as a CB. I was our job was providing convoy security. We were responsible for making sure that the Marines, Rangers, and SEALs that were working together with us got from point A to point B to point C to all the places that we were going safely. That was my job, and we weren't even there for 2 months before our convoy got ambushed, and we lost most of us, almost all of us, and that definitely gave me a lot to deal with. And the process is pretty much um, after receiving medical attention and getting debriefed in country. And they took me back to the States, and then it was all mental health from there, which I am extremely blessed and grateful that has been the process of the last 20 years. Before that, they did not do that mental part. From
No.
what was told, from what I understand, is that there was a very big lacking gap in taking care of combats and veterans after they got back to the States.
Yeah.
in a mind way, mentally. So I got diagnosed. I had to start doing personal therapy, one-on-one therapy, and then from there, some people are recommended at a certain time to do what they call group therapy
Mm-hmm.
for combat veterans. Not everybody does. I qualified, I guess, since I'm such an open person. So I did personal therapy, one-on-one therapy for probably 2.5 years, and I did group therapy for about a year and a half. And both were good, both were beneficial. But what bothered me the most coming back, what caused the most amount of mental anguish, was bright flashing lights and loud bangs and booms. Like
Mm-hmm.
the first couple of years after getting back from Iraq, uh, I could not go to a fireworks show. Couldn't do it. Absolutely not. That was completely off limits. That just I'd get a major anxiety attack, and then I'd spend like the next 3 or 4 nights having nightmares from what happened to me. Thick crowds and traffic jams always raised my anxiety really bad. I actually had a panic attack and anxiety attack while I was sitting in traffic on the Coronado Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about maybe 2 or 3 weeks after I had gotten back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got out of the car and started screaming.
Yeah.
And then the biggest thing that kind of just pulls it all together with PTSD is the feeling so alone in having to process through these emotions, and that's where the group therapy really helped.
Yeah. Yeah. I can only imagine.
Realizing that I'm not by myself, that there are others that are trying to deal with these sporadic, extreme emotion ranges that we go through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It took me, well, the nightmares. I spent probably about maybe 3 or 4 months dealing with the nightmares and the
Yeah.
flashbacks. Um, I would I was always getting, like, if we were going places during holidays and your traffic directors that have the lights with the little cones on the end of the flashlight, um, that would always like trigger the hell out of me. Like, I was just
Oh, really?
so mad if they were like shining it towards our faces and stuff and not
Mm-hmm.
pointing at the ground. Yeah, I remember even one time I pulled the car off to the side of the road, got out and yelled at the guy for not doing it right because it was triggering my PTSD. um,
Yeah.
yeah, it was. I had a hard time, and so I can only imagine those that were there much longer than me. Again, I was not even 3 months, and had one awful situation that ended up sending me home. And yeah, I can't imagine. I volunteered to go back once, and they told me no, that I wasn't needed. And after that, I never volunteered to go again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at that point, I had 2 kids and enough. And I'm willing to bet that the reason why they said no to me was my personal issues that was going on with my first wife.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm pretty sure that was kind of the main reason why they were like, no,
Yeah.
we don't send you over there.
Are you up for a few questions yet?
Yeah, go ahead.
We're still cruising.
No, go, please.
Okay, so from an outside perspective, me just walking, if you see someone like triggered by PTSD in a situation like traffic or whatever, is there anything we can do to help, or anything we should do to give you space, or call anyone? Like, what do we do from an outside perspective?
Yeah, for the most part, and I can mostly just speak for me personally. I just need the space.
Mhm.
But say like you're stuck on the Coronado Bridge and you're screaming.
Well, right. That's why I get out of the car.
But do we still just let them go out there and scream?
So I'm not a claustrophobic person, but when you're having an anxiety attack or a panic attack like that, open space is your friend.
Yeah.
When I sitting in the car in traffic, like all of a sudden, just that, confined space just felt like it was closing in super fast, and you have to get out of that. So that's why I did what I did.
That makes sense. I've just seen too many videos of like people going the situation even more.
Right. Yeah. So the most part, we just need space for a minute or two, and then if and it's not fun to have a whole bunch of eyes, but if it's just one or two people that kind of just watch us in a concerned way, or if you know us, a good thing to do would be just full arm reach out and just barely touch her shoulder, and just say, "Hey, are you okay? Can I do anything for you?" That means the world. If anything, that might just bring us back.
Mhm.
Yeah, just that very gentle contact and a nice soft voice of saying, "Hey, is there anything I can do for you?"
Yeah.
But for the most part, I mean, panic attacks, anxiety attacks, whether it's PTSD or just somebody who suffers from claustrophobia, space is the best thing.
Okay, and then for some of you in the chat who have like Scott, does that also work for you, or do you have different strategies? You're answering. Acknowledging they may need a lifeline is enough. Not too pushy.
That's what I was saying.
Okay.
Just that full reach out, gentle tap, say, "Hey, anything I can do."
Okay. I would notice that sometimes my mom, she would she'd be sitting there, all of a sudden she would just start staring out, and then she would have to kind of be snapped back a little bit.
Right, and that little just awareness of, "Hey, I'm here if you need me." Yeah, goes a long way.
Mhm.
Okay. She wasn't in direct combat like you, but she had a few incidents. She told me you're going to talk about later. She didn't really talk about her stuff, but she had a few run-ins. She would kind of give me some details, but I noticed there was times where she mostly did that 1,000-yard stare type thing.
Mhm.
Oh, but I was a kid. I didn't know exactly like what to do.
In those moments, usually I'm trying to, in that 1,000-yard stare, I'm trying to bring back my focus and deter myself mentally away from having a flashback.
Okay.
Like in the moment, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm battling that. Let's not have flashback and think about what happened.
Mhm.
Okay.
Survivor's guilt. I don't know if you've heard about that, Maddie or Sharif, but survivor's guilt.
Oh yeah.
Is the devil of PTSD. It really is. That's the biggest thing that drives many veterans to sue towards the the S word.
Yeah.
What does YouTube tell us to say, Sharif? I forgot. It doesn't matter. Yeah. We know what he's talking about.
Remember. Oh, self-delete.
Self-delete, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So Yeah, survivor's guilt is the worst of it. I I wouldn't say that I had. I mean, thinking about it sometimes, yeah, in therapy there's a little bit of that survivor's guilt, but it wasn't like it didn't bog me down on a daily basis like it does to a lot of people. A lot of people that is an unbearable struggle to go through. Is trying to figure out, trying to solve the answers, the question of why me, why did I make it, and all the others didn't. I'm not worthy. It's kind of like a self put down, and it drives you to a different type of depression that is even more uglier to try to get pulled up out of.
Yeah.
And I actually was voluntold. You know what that means? I was voluntold to do a suicide watch for another individual for 72 hours. One other guy took turns permanently for 72 hours straight, escorting this guy around everywhere on the base, including watching him sleep in the room within arm's reach of him while he was sleeping, in order to make sure that nothing happened. But yeah, I was asked to do that, but again, voluntold to do that because of the fact that I had overcome mine, and I guess my commanding officer felt that I could relate with him and help him through stuff that he wanted to. But yeah, so that was. I only had to do that once. That was interesting experience.
That's such a tough situation to be put in, right? Because like, yes, helping somebody else who's struggling while you're in your recovery can be really, really impactful. Like it absolutely can, right? It helps you put your own trauma and stress into like a different context, and you realize like, oh, maybe I can use this to help this person. But the difficulty in your situation, particularly like in the military or with first responders, police, etc., is like, if the person still doesn't hear you, and goes through with their plans, now you have to add that trauma onto the existing trauma that you're already like struggling with. So I have mixed feelings about that sort of like buddy system approach, because like it can reignite trauma if it doesn't, if it's not the best outcome. You know what I mean? But
so helping others with going through their PTSD and their survivor's guilt. That's how I got this.
nice.
It was a Navy chief that was part of the ordnance, explosive ordnance disposal (EOD).
Yeah.
Our military bomb squad. So yeah, I in my group therapy for a handful of months that I was in it, there was a chief that was struggling, and I was his battle buddy for
Nice.
some of the time that he was there. That we were both there together, and he felt that I helped him so much, and so he gifted me his command's coin and gave me their command shirt
Nice.
and bought me lunch a couple times.
That's awesome.
And then his commanding officer invited me to have dinner at the officers' mess hall on the base.
Nice.
All the really higher ups go to eat.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. Definitely earned it.
Yeah.
Question: How deep are you willing to go on this?
I mean, if I leave out details, you know why.
Yeah, no, it's mostly like when you do group therapies and stuff, what kind of stuff did you do in those therapies or like talk about?
Well, they definitely do a lot of team building exercise. Again, trying to get the camaraderie back that same togetherness that we had, that brotherhood that we had on the battlefield. Because that really allows us to bond and for anybody who's got it still stuck in their head that they feel so alone in processing their emotions that they realize that, hey, you're not, we're all in this together. So there's a lot of team building exercises. There's a lot of, I mean, always like any group therapy, everybody share your story and then everybody compare and contrast other people's stories. And it's from the therapist's job is giving you lots of pointers of ways to process and deal with things better, and sharing, over time what methods, what tools everybody uses that works best for them. And maybe some of us kind of like took a processing tool and tweaked it a little bit to better suit themselves. And so we would share that with the group.
Nice.
Is there any tools that kind of stick out for you that work really well that a lot of people like to do for themselves or for others?
I mean, breathing exercises is the biggest thing that helps most people. Finding a nice quiet space and just doing some breathing exercises that can make all the difference for most people in the moment.
Yes.
Sometimes you're in places that you don't have that opportunity. So then it's some people, one strategy is to blink a lot, just focus on blinking. Having a fidget toy is another useful tool.
Yes.
It's creating a distraction that doesn't. It's a safe distraction that doesn't interrupt and disturb anybody else.
Okay.
That's what fidget toys were meant for.
Right, and then also doesn't bring any attention onto you, because that's the worst thing that we want in those situations is for everybody to stop and stare at us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just makes it worse, way worse. So it's trying to find little things that we can do. That's why there's plenty of service animals for veterans programs out there. There's so many programs out there that do so much for veterans. I kind of stayed away from using any of them and kind of just done it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I guess always feeling like my case is not bad enough to warrant going to those services because they're so clogged up with so many veterans that I felt needed it more than me. And I felt like I just had a better self-understanding of where I'm at and how I'm processing everything on a daily basis, that I can go those routes on my own, that I don't need an organization to really help me.
Okay.
Many people do. Many people do. And I always felt like I'm a big boy. I think I can handle it on my own. I'm also the individual that likes the challenge of being able to still be super independent and handle my business by myself. But definitely family. Family is the best thing. And that's something that I was extremely fortunate. Most of your military, at least back in the early 2000s when I went in, most people that were going in and showed up for boot camp were people with a troubled past, whether it was finances, whether it was drugs, whether it was family problems. They had a troubled past, and they were kind of almost as a last resort signing themselves up for the military to kind of just reset their lives on a much better.
Yeah.
And so when you get out, those individuals have it much harder because they don't have that family network. They don't have those people that improve things. So that's where they really need all the programs that are out there. And I couldn't list probably maybe 2 or 3 programs because I've not used one. But there are lots. There are dozens out there for veterans being helped with one thing or another. I do have a service dog. Well, he's kind of become a joke of a service dog. Thank you. I got him with the idea that or my wife insisted that I get him for the sake of my anxiety, because she knew about the whole service dogs for vets thing, and was like, yeah, you should really get a dog. I think a dog would really help you with your anxiety. So I did all the research and everything, went down the same route that your service animals for vets programs do in order to find good candidate service dogs for that, and got one and did the training, researched on how to train them for certain things, and I have him like really close to where I went ahead and registered him and did all the paperwork, submitted videos of what he can do for me as being a service dog. Because that's the thing, is a service dog is not just an emotional support animal. It's an animal that is trained to do a specific task in a situation that you find yourself in that you need help.
Yeah.
And so I had him there, like 7 out of 10 times reenacting or acting out my episode, he would do what he's supposed to do. And then COVID hit us. And that just quickly diminished because I kind of quit working with him. Everybody was stressed out with what was going on in society at that time. And I wasn't taking him out places and having him be exposed in a social environment. So all of that kind of dumbed down. And I felt like with more time, I got a better control on my anxiety episodes.
Yeah.
And so I don't need him, but I definitely appreciate him. He serves more as an emotional support animal now.
Yeah. That's cool though, man. Like, I'm happy hearing that there's like so many different avenues available for like veterans, because I know that hasn't always been the case. My dad was actually a psychiatrist at the VA in Detroit, and he used to have to jump through crazy hoops to try and get care for some of the veterans back then. One of the things that he used to do is, like, everybody knows that drug representatives come and they'll give like samples to the doctors, right? So what he used to do is he used to like kind of play the game with them and say, oh no, you didn't give me samples last time. And he would just hoard them. And then he would, give them out to the patients who the VA was just like rejecting, or, insurance wasn't willing to cover their medical needs and stuff like that. And like, there's all sorts of headaches within the system, a lot of times. So I'm glad to hear that there's more programs that are coming out to like fill the gaps. You know what I mean? Because too many veterans need help and don't have it available to them.
20, 30 years ago, those gaps were huge.
Yeah. People were, It wasn't even like a sieve. It was like trying to pour water through a fence. You know what I mean? So
I think
that's good.
now a lot of people are realizing this. I keep going back to Krispies, but
Mhm.
I think a lot of people are, because generation above me, whatever that was, X or I don't know, but they were all like, do it yourself. But now people are starting to realize, some things you can't do yourself. So never feel like it's weakness to ask for help. It's actually it's the opposite. It's strong. It's hard to ask for help. People want to give and give and give, but as soon as it's your turn, people say, "Nah, I'm good." So
It-
I mean,
There's a lot of internal pressure to be more humble about it, and again, that kind of plays into why so many of us rather not talk about our combat service and any traumatic experiences we had. Um, and that's part of it is because we don't want to be seen as weak or um, yeah.
yeah, that's another brain thing to overcome. It's not a
I
sign, and I get that some people are like, most people can't handle the things we have to talk about, but you can reach out to other people who have dealt with it,
Right.
and they'll understand, and they can talk about it.
I, I will say, well, two things. One, I totally sympathize with the idea of like not reaching out for help, right? Like, I know I'm the type of person who actually like admires elephants. When one is injured and one has like a life-threatening thing, it separates itself from the pack so it doesn't become a burden on the other pack of elephants. Like, I admire that mentality, right?
The mentality that
However,
I have.
yeah, however, like humans, we don't need to do that, and it's hard to remember even sometimes how to ask for help. Like that's even something that, like, how to how I don't know how to get help on this thing. I don't fully understand, like, even if I wanted to. So like Maddie was saying, like having people to reach out to is massive. And the other thing I would say is don't underestimate your friends and family. They may have the appetite to understand what you've been through way more than you may think that they do. They may not understand it because they haven't seen it and been through it, but because they love you and they care for you, they will want to put in the effort to like listen and hear, what you've been through, you know. So just want to say that you have more options than you may think, you know.
So the next thing that I was going to hit up on was how how much a lot of us don't like to talk about it, and my personal reasons, which I know others have kind of the same reason, is uh, why we don't talk about our combat experiences and our traumatic stuff is, like, again, yeah, we don't want to be seen or viewed as being weak or being, a burden to everyone. But also, I mean, at least for me, I don't want my friends and family to look at me in any kind of a different way because of that. Uh, you know, oh,
Yeah,
you, you know, well, Jason's been through a lot, so be easy on him. No, I I can take a hard joke. I can, you can throw down some shade at me. I've got thick
yeah,
skin still. Just I don't want to be treated any different, and I don't want my family members to always, when they spend time with me, think about and have that in the back of their head. Oh, he went through combat. He was blown up and has all these medical issues and mental issues, and we have to be easy around. I don't want that. I don't want them to
yeah,
think about me in that way. I want my family, especially my immediate family, to always think of me and remember me as a loving husband and energetic and loving father. that wants to be infused in their lives as much as possible, and them not be worried about me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more of my personal reasons. And I don't want to scare my kids with the horrors that I've faced myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, isn't that kind of the point? Is that like, you know, you did it so they don't have to.
Exactly.
You know. So.
Yeah, exactly, crispy critter. Don't like having people feeling sorry for you.
Yeah, I think that this point you're making is really, really underappreciated by people. It's that like I don't think I think it's a very, very narrow portion of this the population who may actually enjoy being like handled with like kid gloves. But I don't think most people want to be treated like any differently, regardless of their situation.
Nope.
You know? Um,
Cops.
hey, cops. I think it's yeah, dude. I think this point is really important. You know that like people are still people. They may have seen some crazy shit, but that's still your buddy. You know, that's still your loved one. That's still your cousin, brother, father. You know what I mean? Kid, whatever your relationship. You know. So yeah, well, why wouldn't you treat them like one? You know, I don't know. It's a hard thing for me to fully appreciate or understand. You know, but
Mr. Branson. Real quick. So some of you are only seeing some of the comments. I have a StreamYard now lets us do a hello vertical chat and the usual horizontal one. So whichever one you're on, if you're on the vertical, you're seeing those chats. If you're on the horizontal, you're seeing that one. But I'll try to keep bringing them up so you can see them all wherever you're at.
Yeah, so the vertical is for on viewing on your phone, and then computer is where you get your horizontal.
Yeah, it's a new feature StreamYard's doing, so I figured this would be the best way to try it out.
Yeah.
I think it's a good move on her part.
And Crispy, yes. The brother check-ins are cool. Crispy will sometimes be like, brother check-in even to me. And I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we love you for that, Crispy. Like genuinely. We love you for that, dude.
I don't have anybody that checks in on me, but I'm good at reaching out and annoying others to achieve the same, end result of just touching enough face with somebody.
We should check on you, but me, I don't reach out to people because I'm dumb. I don't know. I got my own things going on, but I think about people a lot, and in my mind, that's like, oh, all right, but I never like click.
Yeah,
but
the dog helps. I talk to him a lot.
Mhm.
Good listener.
Mr. Benson, thank you.
I'm the same way as Maddie. I'm a little too introverted, so I think about a lot of things, and then I even sometimes think I checked in on people or said something when I didn't say things because I've been like replaying it in my head. But dude, yeah, like if you guys know people and I've been trying to get better where if I have the thought of the person, just do something in that instant, but I'm still not great at it. I'm just starting out, so be patient with me.
Same. I grew up as a lone wolf. I didn't have too many friends. I hated my family. I still do. So me coming into the knife community is completely different. It's me reaching out in the beginning because I would never do that. I would just be my own person, do my own things, deal with my own things. So it's hard for me, but I'm doing it. And that's why I was asking Urban what kind of strategies you do, because I apply them. And there's a parallel between like your military PSD and like what we do at work, because a lot of the things you said is stuff we do with students.
Right.
Because these kids with autism, a lot of times they grow up and they've been abused like heavily. And so they have triggers, they have PTSD. And then some of them don't understand what's going on. And it's that's why I was asking what you guys do, because there's a lot of parallels there, and I like it's good stuff to know.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of your vet programs do a lot of rehab type work and having volunteer for community service and doing a lot of building, a lot of construction work for either homeless or for other homeless veterans. So yeah, they doing that is a good way for, and we're always pushed those in the system. We're always pushed to do those activities. Again, trying to serve as that check-in with one another and bring back that camaraderie and everything, and then just do something that's positive for others. Definitely makes you feel more positive.
Doing something kind for someone, if you will.
Yeah.
Like Scott does.
Yeah,
I think it's a
big parlor.
It's a misunderstanding on people's parts to glorify the lone wolf kind of mentality, right? Because like, here's the thing, you have kind of people on two sides of the fence, and I think they're kind of like both wrong.
You mean everybody can be Rambo?
Right, exactly. Right, you have the people on this side who need to constantly surround themselves with people 24/7 as a way of avoiding like the stuff in their head, right? And then you have the lone wolf people who are so used to dealing with the stuff in their head that they don't go and deal with other people, right? And both sides need to learn from the other, right? The people who surround themselves with people all the time to avoid the problems need to learn from the lone wolf how to just sometimes stew in it and work through it. You know what I mean? The people, the lone wolf people need to realize it actually takes a lot of courage and strength to rely on other people. It's the easy thing to do is actually to go on your own, when it's your nature, So it's like, in order to break out of your nature and to integrate with other people, go search for help, integrate with others. You're breaking out of this sense of self-protection. You know what I mean? And that's part of the lone wolf reasoning is like,
being an introvert versus an extrovert also.
To some degree, yeah. It's a big part of it.
So again, besides doing community service and other positive ways that therapy promotes you to deal with everything, one thing I think every veteran should do is travel around the states or even other countries if you can or would like to. Understanding that you spend all those years and possibly maybe was in a combat zone defending not just the United States, but defending the world against tyrannical stuff, that you should reap the benefits of experiencing who you did it for, what you did it for. So yeah, you should absolutely travel, see places, whether it's just in the States or if you want to see other countries and the Navy or Army or Marine Corps didn't do enough of that for you, then do some of that on your own. That also allows you to then, take some time to kind of find your own way through society and learn about different parts of society and not only finding the place you want to be physically, but also the place you want to be mentally. A
I
lot
think
of nomadic stuff helps.
I think of one of the things that a lot of people don't discuss as one of the challenges of transitioning out of military service is a loss of identity, right? Like when you're in the service, like you know who you are, you know your rank, you know your role, you know your job, you know your team, right? And then when you leave, all of a sudden you don't have those definitions to yourself, you know?
Right.
And
While you're in, you're also just all that time, and they do it to you on purpose. All
uh-huh.
that is devoted towards that regime,
Yeah, yeah,
that team, doing all those things as a unit together and doing the job to where
yeah,
like you don't almost don't have time to do anything else.
yeah,
If you're not doing that, then you're trying to sleep. You're trying to catch up.
yeah,
So yeah. So when and I said this in the mental health Monday that we did a long time ago. I got divorced almost at the exact same time that I was getting medically processed out of the military.
mm-hmm.
And so not only was I closing up the books on my military life, I was also closing up the books on a very also traumatic, nightmarish relationship in life, my home life,
Yeah,
that was really not good. So I was completely starting fresh, truly completely starting fresh. Minus the fact that I had two small children completely, entirely needing me to do everything for them.
yeah,
I became a single father at that point with primary custody. But so yeah, it wasn't, and that was really strange because all of a sudden I found myself with that freedom to go either back to or start new hobbies and interests and activities and, and just like trying to find my way through that and navigate through that
yeah,
was very hard. And I kept like mentally, it was difficult to process that, like because I was trying to go back to doing things that I enjoyed doing before the military
mm-hmm.
and before this awful marriage that I had. That life with her took me away from all of those hobbies too, because of the kind of person that she was. So yeah, it was really hard trying to go back and find those things that I enjoyed before the military and processing emotionally that joy of doing those things again.
Yeah,
Like I'm allowed to have joy in doing activities all of a sudden.
yeah.
That was it. Just it felt super awkward, and
Oh, I
I
can imagine,
I was
right?
in therapy just to deal with that at that point.
Dude, well, I mean, think about it. Like you go from a world or a life where your life is not your own.
No,
You
everything's
know?
designed for
Exactly. Exactly. And you're told what to think, what to do, how to do it, all of that. And then now you're all on your own. You know what I mean? And you can actually do things for enjoyment for the first time and however long. And it's like, yeah, it's wild. I can't even imagine that experience.
and again, along with travel and then your hobbies and stuff. Another good thing to do that's positive is go spend that time with family. If you have loved ones that you felt like you neglected a little bit because of your service, because you were going anywhere and everywhere, super busy all the time, take that time if you can when you get out to really hunker down. I mean, I know some of y'all might remember Eonan's Edge.
Yeah.
So I, bless him for having to go through the loss of his loved one, his best friend. But
Yeah.
if you've noticed, he's been completely absent from social
Yeah.
media. And that's because that's what he's doing. He is focusing heartedly on every moment he can with his family, because he knows better than many of us how important that is, how meaningful that is. So I respect that. I miss him. I miss the whole Minions thing and the getting together for his lives and stuff that he likes to talk about. But I understand, and I'm glad that he's doing what makes him the happiest and making him as complete as possible. Loss is number one.
Yeah.
Lone Wolf.
I really him today.
Mostly it is. But sorry, PTSD affects a lot of people, not just military. So it's stuff that will apply to a lot of people as well. But it's military focused today because Urban's coming up. It's Veterans Day.
Yep.
And but yeah, a lot of stuff Urban's saying though can be applied to those not in the military.
Right.
I'm learning a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an excellent one.
Anybody in the chat have any questions? Yeah. His story times were always good.
I have a question. Is Branson still here? Did something happen with Josh? I hope he's doing okay.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I feel like one of the things, and you touched on it, Irvin, that like when you get, kind of back into civilian world and you're transitioning and stuff like that, whatever you can do to find any sort of community, I think is a big help. My really simplistic version of that, like when I first moved to Los Angeles, I didn't know anybody. I had no family in California, or no family in Southern California, nobody that I could turn to, no friends, no nothing. So the first thing for me was I connected with my interests, my hobbies, right, which was car stuff, and I found local car meets and just started going and talking to people, and I know that that's can be really difficult, particularly if you're, kind of dealing with PTSD and all of that stuff and being around groups, but then an alternative would be like this group, if you can find like an online community, where you may not need to go in person for your interests, whether that's pew-pews, knives, tabletop games, video games, cooking, like whatever your interests may be, you know what I mean? If you can find a little community where you can like BS and, talk crap, I feel that gives you a sense of normalcy, and, you may not find the best friends of your lifetime there, but you're going to find some homies at the very least, and that's a start, it gets you moving. It gets you in a good direction, in a new start. I feel like finding even just a couple of people that you can say inappropriate jokes with, it's like all you need, the person you can text a dead baby joke to at like, 7 p.m. and they're not going to freak out,
Urban, you should try cooking. You might like it.
I do lots of cooking. Yeah, I've got some of my teenagers are like begging me for recipes.
Like that smoked meatloaf.
The meatloaf is not a popular one. I have a chicken enchilada casserole dish that I make that um, my stepdaughter wants badly. So, just since it is Veterans Day, I did want to remind anybody who is a veteran in here, um, don't be a jerk to your waiters or waitresses with all the free food that's out there. Be kind and considerate that their workload is a little extra heavy today because of us going out there and being appreciated from it. And just because your bill ends up being $4, $5, $6 for that coffee or that beer or whatever, doesn't mean that you shouldn't tip as if you were paying for the full meal. If anything, because of the discount, you should tip more generously.
Is this a thing that's happened?
This is every year. Every year, there's probably about maybe 9 to 12 restaurants that give out either like I took little suburban with me this morning to Denny's, so we had a breakfast at Denny's, and free veterans meal there, and Buffalo Wild Wings. I will hit up a little bit later this afternoon. I absolutely love my Buffalo Wild Wings. I have Chili's and Applebee's does it. I actually have somewhere in my plethora of drawers of T-shirts, I have a Applebee's Veterans Day shirt that they let me purchase off of them on here because I love that it had the Applebee's symbol and the word veteran on it.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, there's lots of places. I know Black Rifle does a free coffee, so if you're anywhere near Black Rifle Coffee, yeah, lots of places, and then of course there's your retailers, both online discounts and in stores. You know, Lowe's gave me an extra 10%, so instead of my employee 10% or just the military 10%, they allowed me to double stack them for a full 20%. So yeah, I stocked up on some spray paint and wood stains and consumable stuff that I need for my woodworking hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, just again understanding that it is not a right, that it is a privilege out of the graciousness of these companies' hearts to give back a little bit. It's only one day a year, but yeah, be appreciative and act respectfully and accordingly. Don't ruin it for the rest of us. But yeah, no, I saw a lot of veterans, and I actually insisted I had suburban. I asked a couple older gentlemen who had fancy veteran hats on, which I probably need to get one. But we sat down and I had them share a couple stories with my son.
That's pretty cool.
It was fun to do that since it was just the two of us. I was like, yeah, he should learn. It should be a learning experience for him. Yeah. But yeah. So Ed, what did I carry while I was serving? Unfortunately, the military at that point in time, because we do not have all the fancy knives that we have now, I definitely carried a Gerber paraframe at one time. I had a buck. It wasn't a buck 110. It was a folder. I can't remember the model of it, but yeah, I had a buck in my pocket. The my multi tool was always one of the Gerbers. I didn't carry Leatherman. I didn't have money for Leatherman. Actually, the airport TSA in Bangkok, Thailand, has one of my Gerber multi tools because we took military flights over there, but then took civilian type flights back home. I had it on my carry luggage and forgot, but I did.
Hey.
But no, today's carry in honor of veterans
Nice.
is the Edgy Works Grunt. you don't know, these two know, but this is the knife design that Scott Stills did and had Grumpy name, or him name, the Grunt. And his, I think, all the way until 1 o'clock is the entries for the Veterans Day giveaway, where he does one of these in some slightly more budget-friendly materials, but still a gorgeous, gorgeous knife. I absolutely love it. So yeah, so if you can go hit up, if you know a veteran in our community, go to his Instagram post on the giveaway night. He's doing it till 1 o'clock, and then I think 5 o'clock he's doing the announcing the winners.
Heck yeah.
That's really cool that Scott does that.
Yeah. Shout out to Scotty Stills, man.
Yeah.
And Scott, this is 100% true. Out of high school, it was still the height of, like, I graduated in 03. I tried to join the Air Force, but I was too tall for what I wanted to do. So I went to college instead. Yeah, I tried though. Huh?
Were you wanting to be a pilot?
I did.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I loved it. And back then, I think the limit was like 5'6".
No,
Yeah.
I think 5'11".
Okay, something like that. Either way, I was too tall. I forgot what it was. But once they told me I was too tall, I steered. But yeah, life worked out, because otherwise I wouldn't have met Katie and had those two turds downstairs. It worked out. Buck Selector. I don't know what that one is.
I did have, now I remember, I did have a boot knife that I carried, and that thing actually saved me a couple times in combat. Helped me out in some tough situations. I had it was a Smith & Wesson boot knife. I forget what the model name was. It was a dagger-shaped boot knife. It had about a 4 1/4 inch blade, so it wasn't a big one. It was one of the smaller ones. I didn't want anything bigger, bulky, or funky. The rifle that I was carrying was almost a 30-pound rifle, automatic machine gun. So having to lug that around for here and there was enough. I didn't need any more weight to my gear than I already had.
Yeah, dude.
I only weighed 140 pounds back then.
Dude, was it a DMR, or what was it that was so heavy?
Well, the rifle that I had was a 240 Bravo, which is an
okay.
Palmer.
armor piercing rounds. So
Yeah.
itself was heavy duty.
Dang it, Scott. Lone Wolf, real quick. I think Ares EDC makes Kydex. I think Mad Yako's starting to get into it.
Ares does kayak sheets, but he's like, he has to really like you for him to do a sheet.
Oh, okay. So he's only doing them for his stuff.
He really only does it.
Okay, try Mad Yako.
Lone Wolf, outside of the community, the only person that I found that I really dig their stuff is a guy by the name of Jersey Devil Kydex. He does excellent work. I don't know what his prices are, though. So if prices are a factor, it may be an issue. But
What are his prices?
I have no idea. But
Great, babe.
never know. Could be expensive, could be affordable.
Yeah, and then here's Aries. Here's his kayak sheet, and what I like about what he does with his sheet, and I think you'll like Sharif.
Yeah.
The little push ramp. He actually curls it almost all the way over.
Yeah, that's sick.
And what I've noticed that really helps with, not so much with horizontal scout carry, but with vertical carry, like pocket drop-in carry.
Yeah.
When you go to pull the whole thing in and out, nothing, or push it in, it doesn't catch. When you go to
Mm,
put it into your pocket, it doesn't, or onto your belt, that doesn't catch. Where the ones
nice.
that have just like the really wide flaring out
Yeah.
ramps, those tend to catch, and then it's like, all right, go on to the belt, go on into the
Yeah. Yeah.
and do it because of that. So I think that's cool that Aries rolls it over like he does.
Yeah.
He does an excellent job. I'm excited for his Baja Rock offers that he
Heck yeah.
did. Those, that's a sweet night.
And K Mason, are you gonna? You say you were gonna set up to do it. Are you still gonna set up to do Kydex?
It's really not hard to do it. I mean, you're just buying the hardware, buying the Kydex, and for the most part, you can, if you're in the least bit woodworking type building savvy, it's not hard to make one of the presses for it.
Yeah.
Snack that I got. It's kind of cool, that Lone Wolf. Well, I hope you get a good sheath for it.
Yeah.
Maybe
Nice.
K Mason will set up. I'd rather support people in the community.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No doubt.
Yeah. So, Urban, you've been out of the military for a while. How
Yeah.
are things now mentally?
How are things now mentally?
Yeah.
Um, I feel like I did super good in the long run managing myself. Uh, I still have anxiety, mostly with crowd, but I'm able to kind of calm myself down a little bit, and then also do that tunnel vision type focus and just keep moving. Uh, Process is how I deal with that. Uh, it helps not living in a big city
Hmm.
as far as traffic and that stressful situation. Yeah, it's mostly about trying to avoid stressful situations.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to, and I think I do a pretty good job of that.
Thanks, Ron.
Less drama, uh, minus minus the fact that I've got 5 teenagers in my household right now. So
No.
that I can't really control much of, but out in society, I do a really good job. I think
Yeah.
I do have my moments again, and I'd say the thing that I absolutely cannot do still to this day is watch certain war type movies, mainly the ones that are put over there.
Mm.
Yeah, I cannot watch. It's conflict that scenarios, basically anything that's a Hollywood version of what I did. I can't do. I can't watch that.
Yeah.
The very beginning of the first Iron movie with Robert Downey Jr. I cannot watch the beginning where his convoy gets ambushed and he gets blown up and then captured. Yeah, I have to skip over that part. I can't watch it.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
Totally reminds me of what happened.
Hello, Mikey. It's Tuesday.
But yeah, so other than those things, I think I do a pretty good job. Again, I still don't like to talk about it too much. I don't mind. I do better talking about it with in setup, but I don't care to talk about it with my kids, my wife, immediate family.
Yeah.
Because like the concept of that was 7.5 years of my life that I was in the military. I was only in combat less than 3 months. What about the rest of my life?
Mm-hmm.
I have value on people remembering me for the other parts of my life than I do for what I did in the military. And so I don't care to reflect so much on it.
That's okay.
You know what though? I never thought about it like that, Like you don't want to make your entire existence about such a small portion of it, you
Yeah.
know? I can appreciate and respect that because I don't think anybody would want that. And I don't think anybody realizes that they may be putting you guys into that position. It's like we're all of these like people with wide and dynamic worlds and experiences. Why would you want to define anybody by like one, 3 month, 10-year period of their existence, Like I never thought about it that way. That's really, I appreciate that perspective a lot. Wow.
I mean,
Nice.
if you get a police officer that's been on the police force for 25, 30 years, is that how they want to be remembered, as being a police officer for all those years, or do they want their passion for this to be remembered, or how much they love their family?
Yeah.
Some people do. Some people are like, that is me. I'm the police
Sure.
officer, or I'm the firefighter, or I'm the combat veteran who did 9 tours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people want that, and because they're just so proud of it, and that's that was took up a major portion of the body.
Mm-hmm.
Me, not so much.
But I think people default into behaving that way when really it should be on the person that you're talking to kind of let you know how they want to be defined. Like if you want to be that guy that's like, oh, I'm super military guy or I'm super police guy or whatever, then fine, but don't assume that the person wants to be defined that way. I think that's a wonderful message to people,
I
actually.
don't enjoy wearing a lot of camo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care to blast out that I bought this hat when I was in. It says Navy on it, and I've probably worn it 3 times since I've gotten out. Like, I'm not about blasting out that I was in the service.
Yeah,
I'm talking about it, but I don't like to advertise it.
I don't think I've ever seen you display anything on you or anything that would have suggested or told people, like you don't wear any of the clothes, you don't, put on any of the airs. Like you said, I've never even seen or heard you even owning camo, let alone, you know what I mean? Like,
I have plenty of it.
yeah.
I do wear little bits and pieces when I bother to go hunting.
But never in the civilian, like regular world, like
No.
from what I've heard,
Yeah, and that's also in my mind. There's a time and place for everything, and I feel like that goes for clothing attire as well.
That's true, Scott.
Yeah, again, I don't like the confrontation because it spikes my anxiety. But there's been a couple of times where my BS detector goes off on somebody disrespecting me just because I'm 10 years younger than you, and you have a higher position at a workplace than me, does not give you a right to talk down to me in some ways.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, if anything, that's kind of the one time that I bothered to pull out I'm a combat veteran card. Like, this is not how you treat us.
Yeah.
Done nothing, I've said nothing to you or about you that warrants you to behave that way towards me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a couple times where I've called some people out with that. But the most part, I don't. Again, it's a matter of being able to avoid those situations as much as
Yeah.
possible. Kind of that, people don't really talk about it much, but the great man effect, blending in, being a nobody.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of us, well, not a lot of us, some of us tend to do that more so these days, I would say.
Oh yeah. I can see that. I can totally see that.
Eagle Scout.
Hey, what's going on, dude?
So, Urban, for veterans and non-veterans, what kind of advice do you have for people dealing with PTSD or emotions that come from it, or just, I don't know, anything? What advice do you have? What's your wisdom?
Just, family and friends that will listen to you makes a huge difference. Therapy, all there's so many veteran programs designed out there to help. If you need it, please look at those programs. If you have a local VA center, go. Yeah, I know the paperwork part of it sucks. Can't stand the paperwork part of VA centers, but if you need it, it's worth it. Do it. That's the biggest thing. Is just if you feel like you could use some assistance, do not be afraid to get it. It is there for you because people care. They care about you. And some days it feels like nobody cares about veterans, but there's plenty of us that do. I'm a fairly good listener, so I'm always hearing many people talk and relate to certain things, not everything. We all have our own experiences. Yeah, reach out. I'm here. Even though I've got a busy life, I can sit down and chit chat.
Yeah. And even if you do feel like you're alone, just remember there's a stranger across the world that'll chat with you up in here, whether it's Urban or people in the chat itself.
You can, and this time of the year, as we head into the winter holidays, a lot of us are getting those phone calls from those annoying telemarketers and scammers. See if maybe one of them will listen to you. If anything, you can de-stress on one of them.
Super Dad, that's a good way to look at it right there.
Yeah, that is again, because family's so important, and it's something that you're protecting with your service. Yeah, understanding. I think in one of my therapy sessions, it was, if I delete myself, I'm only solving one problem.
Yeah, right.
And creating so many problems for so many others that care about me.
Yep.
Now, having kids, having a spouse, having parents that you darn well know miss you if you're not there.
Yep.
It should be enough. Not always is, but it should be
Yeah.
enough.
Absolutely.
In emergencies, Crispy said it earlier, 988 push 1 for veterans crisis if you need it. Hello, Roman.
Hey, Roman, what's going on, dude?
Even your local fire station is a good place to go.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
I have a firehouse that's not even a half a mile from my house, and they've got 3 veterans that work there.
I never would have thought about the fire department.
Yeah.
Oh, I've dealt with your pain in the ass fires out.
Oh, in California, yeah.
That was a miserable 2.5 weeks.
Scott. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to play firefighter for 2.5 weeks.
Ugh, that's tough life, man.
Yeah, we had all our dozers, trucks, and everything, dirt, free, fire breaks,
Mhm.
whatnot. And I was out there. I actually had the hose in my hand, sweeping fire.
Jeez.
Yeah, that stuff is no joke. It's about 280 degrees roughly. Is
Yeah,
your heat coming off of a fire that you're like standing 15, 20 feet away from, and you're still feeling almost 300 degrees of heat.
which is insane.
Yeah. But that fire is cooking from anywhere from 500 to 900 degrees.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm not a fan of fire.
I,
Only
I,
one-
I like blowing stuff up. I like shooting off fireworks. That's all fun and dandy.
Oh,
Now,
all that stuff is fun, but destructive, like insane fire? No,
Yeah.
I'm good. I can pass on that. I've seen the TED talk. I don't need it.
I'm really glad the flashing lights, big booms. That took maybe a year and a half for that to slowly not bother me. But I couldn't imagine, like, that was nerve wracking. My head being on a swim. As soon as I would hear something bang really loud in the neighborhood, whether it was a transformer blowing,
Yeah,
somebody dropping a pallet. Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh,
No, it's amazing that you put in the work, dude. I didn't realize you had put in so much work, man. So
oh, yeah.
big respect to you.
So many years of therapy.
And
And you know, I hope everyone is doing awesome. This is a lot of people go through things like Scott was opening up and Urban, and this is exactly why Stevie and I have our live streams geared this way, to just have a place to hang out instead of just, it's fun to talk knives, but a place to let loose and be silly. I think it's something a lot of people need, and Scott always comes through with the silliness. I love it.
Oh, we had, and this was like right when YouTube just come to, I think, on the internet, but we had it one of my stations that we had like a Friday where like Fun Friday
You have to talk a little louder, I think.
where we ordered pizza and stuff, and just had a little bit of a celebration on one Friday, and a handful of us guys were in one of the office spaces eating pizza and just talking, having cut loose and everything. And one of the guys came in because he was mad that he got voluntold to go do some actual work for about 10 minutes. And so when he came back, he went straight up to his the rank above him that told him to go do it, and he went up and just slammed the pizza right out of his hand on the, and then recorded it and posted it up on YouTube. Again, this was like back when YouTube was barely a thing. People were just starting to know it existed, and yeah, he did that, and they titled the video something or another about like the pizza slap heard around the world.
I think I remember
It was
this.
something like that. Yeah, it was just like five of us in the office, and one of the guys comes in and just smacks like the pizza, and like you heard it hit the floor. It was great. Yeah, that was funny. We'd have our moments like that.
That's awesome.
We also had we were on one of our training exercises. We were in blackout mode. We were like any lights. If you had a light on, it had to be red. You couldn't. Nobody was allowed to smoke. It was like full blackout mode for the entire camp, and somebody went and they got in massive trouble for it. But they went and they cracked open a couple of glow sticks, broke them open, and smeared the glow stick material all over, like body painted themselves with glow sticks. And they did this in one of the porta potties that they had there. And he came out of the porta potty completely glowing. It just ran through the camp, completely glowing. His ass got in so much trouble for that. But none of us will ever forget it.
Sometimes getting in trouble is worth it. You leave lasting memories like that.
Oh, 100%. Completely worth it.
That's awesome.
He got demoted in rank, and like there's just so much that happened.
Oh man, that's great.
That's awesome.
Oh, dude.
We might have lost Urban. Are you still there, Urban?
Nope.
At least it froze on a happy picture. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear him. There he is. Back. Welcome back.
Really happened so hard it froze us.
Oh, that's great.
And we had another incident on another training exercise where the Air Force wanted wooden flooring in all of the sleeping tents, and so they paid for it, but we went as CBs, as our construction battalion, we went and bought all the sheets of plywood, all the 4 foot by 8 foot sheets of plywood, hundreds and hundreds of plywood. So every tent, every sleeping tent that had about 40 to 60 people sleeping in it, the massive tents, got like 23 sheets of plywood that covered like 90+% of the ground. So we did that. So we were in charge of divvying up every tent got 23 sheets of plywood in it. So as we're doing this, between the tents, on the back rows, there were army guys taking sheets of plywood out of one tent that we just put 23 sheets in, and taking a couple of them over to their tent to fully cover the floor in their tent. So yeah, the sneaky little bastards just zipping around between all the tents, shifting the sheets of plywood around so that their tent had more plywood in it than others. And then it came back from the Air Force commander that was in charge, went to our guy in charge and complained about it, and we got an ass kicking about why we can't count 23 sheets per tent. Yelling fixes, and we're like, no, it's not our fault. It's the army guy doing it. Yeah. It was funny though to watch them try to be sneaky. Like, how sneaky can you be with a big 4 foot by 8 foot sheet of plywood?
Right.
Like, we see you. But yeah. So we had some good times. We had some fun moments. It wasn't all hard work, all serious, no play.
Yeah.
You have to cut loose sometimes. You can't be serious all the time.
Imagine, like, that would be miserable.
Yeah. Do you want me to show your 2 pictures you shared with me?
You can if you want. I don't care. If
I'm done. You guys want to see how handsome Urban was?
A young, clean-shaven.
Look at that.
Yep.
Where is this picture at?
That is at 29 Palms. That was my convoy training that I did before deployment. So that was like literally a month and a half before I got blown up. Okay.
Is this when you first joined?
That is when after I graduated from boot camp in the Great Lakes, my first duty was where I did all my schooling, being an engineer in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. So that was the first. Spent,
Okay.
for 6 months learning how to basically be a civil engineer.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
There is, if anybody likes old John Wayne movies, old wartime movies, the Fighting Cities is a film that John Wayne stars in that is basically explains everything that a United States CB, Navy CB does. If you're ever curious about until we fighting CBs, you can watch that movie and you'll know.
Heck yeah.
And he does a pretty good job in that movie. I mean, it's John Wayne.
You're right, exactly.
Well, Urban, do you want to wrap it up, or do you want to keep going?
Yeah, no, we can absolutely wrap it up. I do have my daughter has a dentist appointment here in about 45 minutes.
Okay, all right. Well, we will wrap it up then. Thank you for coming on, Urban. This has been
Oh, my
like
pleasure.
I don't know if fun's the right word, but it's definitely been eye-opening a little bit.
Mhm.
I've learned a lot.
Yeah, anything I can do to help anybody.
Yeah. Real quick, Eagle, what time are you going live? And put your link down. But yeah, today, thank a vet. I'll be talking to my mom. And like Crispy said, just reach out. I think actually everyone's basically said it now. Reach out.
Yeah.
If you feel like you need help, it's not weak to ask for help. Heck yeah. Put your link down. That's why you got that wrench. And yeah, you know, keep it silly, keep it fun, but
Most of all, keep it gangster.
keep it gangster. And you know, keep an eye on your friends out here, because you never know. A couple of people have opened up today that would have had no idea that they've gone through some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you never know what people are going through. So try to make life as best for people as possible. It costs nothing to be kind, I think Scott said. But yes, and then at the end of the day, thank you all the vets, all the freedoms we have, all the sacrifices you guys have made. Yeah. It's awesome what you guys have done.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Urban, thanks for coming up.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome.
I'm no superhero.
You're not a superhero. You're an urban woodsman. You can cook anything. You can turn anything on a lathe.
Until I break the one that I've got, and that lathe is starting to fall apart on me.
Oh, you got to get a new one then.
Need a new one.
Yes, saying sorry can get you that lipstick. Yes. But everyone, have an excellent rest of your day. Eagle Scout's going to go live later. I think I saw while looking for Urban's link, EDC with, I always mess up his name, DB.
EDB or something?
I always mess it up. But yeah, EDC with DBD. He's going live actually right now. I think he's going live right now.
Is that Donnie B?
No, it's somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's going live right now, so we're gonna get it a good time. So go check him out. He said it's a Valentine's Veterans Day live. In fact, let me get his link for you guys. And yeah, you know, keep up the love for everyone. Disabled but dead. That's what that means. Okay, that's pretty cool. But But everyone, have an excellent day. And yeah, I'm doing that Milwaukee exit or whatever people say. You know what? Have an awesome day.
Time for an Irish goodbye.
Irish goodbye. There we go. Bye.
Bye.
Wait.